Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Kim and this is Core Union. So I really wanted to talk today, just really quickly about some good examples of everyone as you pushed out. Very powerful, and you will see your manifestations happen much quicker and much faster. Okay, you do have to surrender to the ideas of things like this though, and try not to have your ego, your brain make sense of it, because let's face it, we use a very small percentage of our brains, and we are when we engage in this flow with the universe, we are co-creating with something that is like far more intelligent than us. We use a small percentage of our brains, and this intelligence is so divine that it literally it created universes. So just, in some cases, try to just surrender. Just try to surrender to it, because I found that when I surrender to it, I manifest a lot easier and a lot quicker. It really is gold to do that. Trust me, that's a key. You might want to just like really consider that. So anyway, everyone as you pushed out. Here are a few examples. I'm going to use a couple examples from my business and a couple quick little manifestation stories. So the first is going to be, I was at a law of attraction, more so law of assumption conference years and years ago. This was during the first recession, and my business was a very small store. And at the time, I wasn't making $1 million a year in sales. I was probably making maybe if I was lucky, $1,000 a month in sales. So a very big difference. And nobody was really shopping. So I'm at this conference, and the person who was speaking would invite a couple people up so they could kind of explain what their situation is. So this photographer went up there and explained his situation was that he loves photography and he has a studio, but he's not making enough money with it. And this is what he wants to do with his life. He feels like this is his purpose, but it's not working. People admire his work all the time, but they never actually buy it. So the person speaking said, okay, right there, I want to point out to you that you just powerfully affirmed that, people love your work, but they never purchase. And he said, but that's my experience. She said, I don't care. I want you need to change your thinking with this, and you need to reaffirm the opposite of it. So she reminded him, she said, I want you to think of it this way. People are attracted to coming to your store because you have the belief that they admire your work. So think of it this way. They're walking and there's like this glow. It's not necessarily a visual glow, but it's a feeling that's drawing them. It's magnetic, getting them to want to go into your studio. And they go in and they really like what they see. But then there's like this invisible, almost like, imagine like invisible noise almost, that just like, they're like, oh, I like that, but it's okay. Like, let's go. Let's keep walking. So they like it, they admire it, but they don't purchase it. And she said that visual noise, that thing that makes them like it but not want to purchase, is your belief that that's how they feel. Your belief in your affirmation and your this is something that you've probably thought of morning, noon, and night for a while. So it's kind of embedded in you. That is what the cause of this experience is. She said, so as soon as you can make this connection and reverse it, you will experience something different. So she said, I want you to imagine in your mind the moment that you were taking the photograph, maybe a few of the photographs that are in your studio, and just remember that energy that you felt when you were looking into the lens and you had that feeling of like, this is the perfect shot. People are going to love this, blah, blah, blah. And infuse your work with that energy that you first had. And she said, and I'll bet you if you do this, and then you add on, and people love my work and people always buy my work, that it'll make a big difference. So I took that and I said to myself, I know that when I buy my products for my business, I get so into it because I love the buying process. It's so fun and exciting to be looking online in my vendors' catalogs or, on their websites, seeing new products, and I get this feeling inside all the time when I just know that people are going to love the product. And if I know that it's quality and I can feel that they're going to love it and that I know I can price it well, that's when I buy it. So I literally went out in the parking lot and I imagined myself in the moment. I knew physically I was in the parking lot, but I also imagined I didn't imagine for future, like this is what's going to happen. I imagined as if in the moment I was standing, energetically, I was standing in the store. I was looking at the products that I knew were on the shelf. And then I took myself energetically back to when I first bought the products, and I remembered how excited I was knowing that people love and buy these products. So I did exactly what she said, but I did it with the products on the shelf in the store. Conference was over. I'm driving home. I called the person who was watching the store for me. She wasn't really an employee. She was just a friend watching the store. I said, "Hey, what's up?" And she's, "My God, you won't believe what just happened." I said, "What?" And she said, "I don't know." She said, "I've never seen it like this. People just kind of rushed in the store, and I've never got so many sales all at once." So I was like, even right now, I'm getting the chills thinking about it. In that moment, I learned a huge lesson. And when I could, anytime in my life after that, anytime I thought of things with the business, with sales, when I could get my energy in the right place and apply the same thing, I would. And at the time, I definitely wasn't as understanding of the laws of the universe. I didn't understand everything as deeply as I do now. So of course it took me time, it took me years to build the store up. It took me time to stretch out my mind to even understand and accept and allow the money that I deserve to flow to me. So that took time. It didn't have to take that long, but that was my evolution, so to speak, in the process. So that's one example. Another example that we see happen all the time at my current business is there can be a product that we have on the showroom floor. There's been, like, say, a chair that I've had there forever. Nobody's paid attention to it. One person, or even myself, one day says in a very genuine way, "I love that, and if nobody buys it, I'm taking it home." And all of a sudden, immediately, people can't resist it. It becomes like the most popular thing, like all eyes on it. It's like it's glowing. Everybody wants it, and it sells immediately. I've seen it happen with so many things over the years. So that's another example. So it's this energy, appreciation, and love that's put on something, and that creates a magnet, so to speak, of other people wanting it. So now, how does this work with you? This is an important thing. I'm going to give you an example. Just a few days ago, I was, I do a number of different types of meditations. Sometimes I do 3 or 4 different types in the morning to get myself in the place that I want to feel. I get grounded, and then I visualize what I want. And, if I'm into a thing of, doing a self-love affirmation, I go into being completely adored, completely loved, completely magnetic meditation. And I continued to do it and say these affirmations in my mind. As I was leaving the house, I got in the car and I went to my local grocery store. And I wasn't thinking anymore because I had played some music in the car. So I kind of wasn't thinking anymore of the affirmations that I was saying. But the words, like magnetic and glowing, were radiating, and people feeling it was part of it. So I get out of the car and I'm walking up to the grocery store. There was nothing special I was wearing a sweatshirt. I was wearing, obviously, a mask so nobody can see my face. I'm wearing a sweatshirt, my flip-flops, and some jeans, okay? So it's not like I was all like, I don't know. So he's just kind of looking at me, and we can't see smiles right now, but their eyes are smiling. I'm still not making the connection. I grab a little grocery basket. I go down the aisle, and this little kid, that's like this little 5-year-old kid, looks at me and he's like, oh, like he can't stop, like he keeps like looking at me. And then I'm realizing, oh, I must be radiating something that feels good to people right now because of the affirmations that I said. So take that as like examples of everyone as you pushed out, and how when we affirm that we are something, everybody that you kind of come in contact with is going to reflect that back to you. So if you believe that you deserve to be unconditionally loved, if you believe that you deserve, an easy, loving, healthy relationship, if you believe, all of these things, then you are going to reflect that back to you. That is part of your self-concept. Now, if you believe that, because I experienced the first time in my life manifesting, the relationship where it was just like a dream. Like, the person is a dream to me. Our dynamic, our compatibility, our love, and everything was just a dream. But I also had, and they also had, some leftover programming. For me, there was some abandonment stuff still. There was also this fear of, if I'm not perfect, if I don't do everything just perfectly, then somehow they won't love me. They won't love me. Something along those lines, like something about good enough. And I'm not sure how to put it, but I've done a lot of healing on it, basically, because I became aware of it. And they had some of their own issues that I won't go into, but basically what was happening was, our core wounds were bubbling up. And so it was some painful situations, but it's okay, because I believe that, I know that we love each other. So I'm not really, it is what it is. But as you heal these things within you, you will see that the relationships that you have will get better and stronger. The people in your life, new, old, will reflect your new belief in you. Okay, so that's why it's so important to have your self-concept very clear, that you deserve love, you receive love. When you do receive love, it's safe, stable, secure. If people have problems with being betrayed, you have to kind of look. You might have some old wounds or old programming that's creating that. But anyway, this was just another video on everyone as you pushed out. I know it veered off a little bit, but I think this is all important to understand. And again, like I like to say in all my videos, we're all created to create with this amazing tool that we have, our imagination. So as soon as you start to realize that whatever you're experiencing in your reality is a reflection of your dominant thoughts, and you start to make your dominant thoughts be more in line with what it is that you really want and desire, you will start experiencing things every day that are going to reflect that. It might be rocky at first. You might still be experiencing things that represent like negative thoughts and patterns that you've been experiencing all your life, but there's a momentum going on, and you have to just kind of slowly start fighting that momentum. So if you can imagine, there's going to be like this back and forth a little bit, but as soon as your dominant thoughts take over, then you've shifted the cycle, and it's going to go in the direction that you want it. So trust me, this is true. I have plenty of stories of proof of it in my own life. And these videos are made to shift you, to help you see things differently, so you can empower yourself and realize who you truly are, the powerful creator that you truly, truly are. We all are, okay? So, as always, I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day. Remember who you are. Don't give up on the things that you really, truly love, the things that deep down that you just can't, like, that you love. They make you light up inside, whether it's a person, whether it's the idea of a career, whether it's an idea of, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, don't give up on it. Trust in that, because that itself is, like I've said before, Neville Goddard's quote, The desire itself is the promise of the wish fulfilled. What you desire and want is already yours. It's also desiring you. Okay, there's a reason why you feel so strongly about it. So, anyway, I hope this all helps. You guys have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.